of the Imitation of Christ by Thomas à Kempis. Book 3 of Interior Consolation. Chapter 3. That the words of God are to be heard with humility, and that many weigh them not. Hear my words, my son, words most sweet, exceeding all the learning of the philosophers, and of the wise men of this world. My words are spirit and life, and not to be weighed by man's understanding. They are not to be perverted for a vain self-conceit, but are to be heard in silence, and received with all humility and great affection. And I said, Blessed is the man whom thou, O Lord, hast instructed and taught out of thy law, that thou mayest give him rest from the evil days, and that he may not be desolate upon the earth. I, saith the Lord, have taught the prophets from the beginning, and even till now I cease not to speak to all. But many are deaf to my voice, and hard. Most men give ear more gladly to the world than to God, and more readily follow the desires of the flesh than the good pleasure of God. The world promises things temporal and of small value, and is served with great eagerness. I promise things most excellent and everlasting, and the hearts of men are listless. Who is there that serves and obeys me in all things, with that great care with which the world and its lords are served? Be thou ashamed, O Sidon, saith the sea. And if thou ask the reason, hear why. For scanty preferment men run a great way. For eternal life many will scarce move their foot once from the ground. A pitiful gain is sought after. For one piece of money there is sometimes shameful wrangling. Men do not shrink from toiling day and night for a trifle or some slight promise. But, O shame, for the good which never changes, for the reward beyond all price, for the highest honor and the glory which has no end, they are too sluggish to take the least pains. Blush then, thou slothful servant, who art ever complaining, because they are more ready to labor for death than thou art for life. They rejoice more in running after vanity than thou after truth. They, in truth, are ofttimes disappointed of their hope, but my promise deceives no man, nor sends him away empty who trusts in me. What I have promised I will give, what I have said I will fulfill, if only a man continue to the end faithful in my love. I am the rewarder of all the good, and keenly test all the devout. Write my words in thy heart, and ponder them diligently, for they will be very necessary in the time of temptation. What thou understandest not when thou readest, that thou shalt know in the day of visitation. In two ways I am wont to visit my elect, namely by trial and by consolation. And day by day I read them two lessons, one by rebuking their vices, the other by exhorting them to the increase of virtues. He who has my words and cites them as that which shall judge him at the last day. A prayer to implore the grace of devotion. O Lord my God, thou art all my good, and who am I, that I should presume to speak to thee? I am thy least, thy poorest servant, and a wretched little worm, poorer far and more contemptible than I know or dare express. Yet remember, O Lord, that I am nothing, I have nothing, and can do nothing. Thou alone art good, just, and holy. Thou canst do all things. Thou givest all things. Thou fillest all things, leaving only the sinner empty. Remember thy mercies, and fill my heart with thy grace, thou who willest not that thy works should be in vain. How can I bear myself in this wretched life, unless thou givest me strength by thy mercy and grace? Turn not thy face from me, delay not thy visitation, withdraw not thy comfort, lest my soul become as earth without water unto thee. O Lord, teach me to do thy will, teach me to walk worthily and humbly before thee, for thou art my wisdom, who knowest me in truth, and who knewest me before the world was made, and before I was born in the world. And that concludes Chapter 3 of Book 3 of the Imitation of Christ.